You are tuned into a special Player Spotlight interview on the CS Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CS Podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first. Since 2002, visit NFLDraftBible.com. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and joining the show now for a Player Spotlight interview is Coastal Carolina's all-time leader in passing yards. He threw for over 9,900 yards, touchdowns with 91 total. He has the highest pass completion percentage as he's completed 65% of his passes over the last 3 years as a starter, and now he is working on getting an opportunity at the pro level. It's a pleasure to introduce 2016 NFL draft prospect, again out of Coastal Carolina University. Quarterback Alex Ross joins the show now, and Alex, we appreciate you taking some time this afternoon. When you look back at your time at CCU, I brought up a few of the handful of records that you hold. You're the all-time winningest quarterback in Coastal Carolina history with a 33-8 record. When you look back at your time as a Chanticleer, how would you like to be remembered?
Well, I'm extremely proud of what I was able to do while I was at Coastal Carolina. Unfortunately, we didn't finish the way that we wanted to be finished. But if I look back, I'd want to be, I'd say, spoken about as, someone who was always the hardest worker, someone who always put in the most time in order to be successful.
And, of course, throughout your time at Coastal, you were able to break records held by now a former NFL quarterback, a guy that was able to get a shot in the league, and Tyler Thigpen. So that certainly does speak volumes. Now, talk about how you landed at CCU. Coming out of Buford High School in Georgia, what were some of the other programs that were showing interest in you, and what was it about Coastal that got you to commit to be a Chanticleer?
There weren't really any other big offers that I had. I was getting some interest from schools like Troy and some schools like Marshall, but actually I was on my way up to a one-day camp in the summertime before my senior season at Wake Forest, and my mom goes, "Hey, why don't we stop at Coastal Carolina on the way, and you can do the one-day camp too?" And I said, "Where's Coastal Carolina?" I really had no idea about the school, and she kind of explained it to me and said it's in the Myrtle Beach area. So we stopped off, and I did the one-day camp here at Coastal Carolina in the summer before my senior year. And a week later, the coaches were calling me, giving me a full scholarship. And then going through that whole process, they came, had dinner with my family, and I really liked the family atmosphere that they created, Coach David Bennett, and I really liked the area that Coastal Carolina was in. Also, the type of offense they ran. I wanted to be a quarterback who played in a spread offense in college, who got to sling the ball around a little bit. So that was the biggest thing that got me to Coastal Carolina.
Man, it's funny. You gotta. I'm sure you ask yourself sometimes, what if you didn't, listen to your mom's suggestion and stop at Coastal Carolina before that Wake Forest visit. The future could be totally different right now. But looking at your time at Coastal, Alex, you've been the team's starting quarterback since 2013. You've helped Coastal to a lot of regular season victories. You've appeared in the playoffs in each of your 3 seasons under center. In 2013 and 14, you guys were knocked off by NDSU in the quarterfinals each of those 2 seasons. And then this past season, you guys dropped one to the Citadel. Now, obviously, not many teams have been able to get past North Dakota State in the playoffs. None, in fact, over the past 5 years. Although you guys were close to doing it in 2014, I might add. But why do you feel you guys weren't able to get over the hump and win a FCS national championship throughout your 4 or 5 years at CCU, your 3 years under center? Now I know it's a lot easier said than done. There's only one team in the entire country that gets to hoist the trophy at the end of the season, but it seemed like you guys were right there and, so very close. At times, even this past season, the season before. Why do you think that was?
I don't know, but what I do know is over the time when I've been there and the whole entire time ever since I redshirted and these new coaches came in after my redshirt year, we've kind of established a different tradition at Coastal Carolina. And it's about guys, standing up and taking responsibility for themselves, and guys who are really serious about the game of football and who put a lot of time and effort into it. And I think that's shifted our program in the right direction. But, being able to play in the playoffs against teams like Montana and teams like North Dakota State, it's tough because those guys are the powerhouses. And, we were able to show last year, my junior year, that, we were able to play with the top tier teams, going to North Dakota State and playing in their dome and going down, unfortunately, with a tough loss, but by one touchdown at the end of the game. Not a lot of teams are able to do that. So we're able to show what we were capable of and that we could compete with the national championship team. Although it was tough, it is what it is, and we had to move forward. And then my senior season this past year, we had a pretty good year. We went 9-3. We went down the first game of the playoffs. It was a close game to the Citadel, but props to them. They kicked a field goal as time expired to beat us. But, it was a good opportunity to come to Coastal Carolina, and it was really a blessing to be able to do all the things that we have done and kind of shift the program in the direction that we wanted it to go.
Yeah, I mean, now here you guys are. You guys have been a powerhouse, to say the least, in the FCS, and of course, in a couple seasons, I believe you guys or Coastal Carolina will be moving in the Sun Belt Conference. What do you think about that? I mean, obviously you won't be there anymore, but is that pretty exciting for you now as an alum, a former football player of the Chanticleers football team, to see the team move up to a bigger conference?
Yeah, it is exciting, and it's a great opportunity for the school. And just knowing that I was a part of the team that was able to kind of shift the program to the FBS level and have the success that we did have in the FCS, which got, which stirred up a bunch of notice about Coastal Carolina. And that's really the reason why they are moving up into the FBS because, like I said, that tradition that, a lot of these guys have come in and have established in that, that winning tradition and able to get out there and, win a lot of games. And that's the biggest thing about it.
Now, and of course, with all the team success comes some individual success as well. Obviously, you're all over the record books there at Coastal Carolina, but you've been able to play with some great talent. Obviously, a few former interviewees of the show, Big Joe Coletta, Lorenzo Taliaferro, and Matt Hazel. Have any of these guys reached out to you and given you any advice as you pursue or look to pursue a professional football career?
Yeah, they have. I've talked to all three of those guys. We'll text every once in a while and we'll catch up with each other when they're back in town. But, the biggest thing they said is, the NFL is a business and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be something that's tough. So you really got to pin your ears back and put your head down and get ready for the grind. And so that's the best advice that I could have gotten because, going into, training and everything at this point, that really all does hold true.
Mm-hmm. Again, tons of success for you at Coastal Carolina, Alex. 91 total touchdowns. I got to say, when I first started to watch FCS football, I really just, over the last three years or so, I've been a fan of FCS football big time. And I remember when I first turned on Coastal Carolina, you impressed me right there, right at the get-go. I mean, I was really impressed by your athleticism and how mobile of a quarterback you are. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of success, airing it out, but you can certainly make plays with your feet as well. What would you say is the most memorable play that you've made throughout your time at Coastal Carolina? I mean, looking back 5-10 years down the road, what will be that first play that pops into your mind?
I just say the overall play at Montana, being able to go my sophomore year, my first year starting into an environment like that, it was amazing. And going from Myrtle Beach where it's sunny and 75 in December to go into an area where we're playing in -5 with a -23-degree wind chill, and being able to pull out a win there, that really was amazing. And just the overall play that day, that's what sticks out to me most throughout my career.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I remember Big Joe bringing up that same exact playoff game down in Montana. I mean, again, a -20+, 20- degree wind chill. Not easy to play, and I got think it's pretty hard to keep the game on your mind. But that's exactly what you guys were able to do. Talk to us about some of the talent that you've played against in the FCS. I mean, you've been able to go up against some of the best, NDSU, Montana, some great talent in the Big South Conference as well. If I were to ask you who the best defensive player that you've had to go up against, I mean, is there any one specific player that you could point out?
No, I wouldn't say one specific player, but as a whole defense, I would say North Dakota State, the tradition that they have and, the speed that they play at, it's exceptional, and it's way different than playing anybody else, how fast they get to the ball, and defensively, just everything they do, it's down to a T, and that is the best defense I think we've ever played throughout my college career, and you can see because they've won 5 national championships in a row.
Yeah, and that defense certainly played well this year. Of course, they're without Carson Wentz for a big chunk of the season, and we're still able to find their way down to the national championship game, and we're able to pull out the victory in a very impressive performance against Jacksonville State, who I actually thought was going to upset NDSU, but I was clearly wrong. Again, he is the 2016 NFL draft prospect. Alex Ross, the quarterback out of Coastal Carolina, joined me here on the CS podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com. And, Alex, I know that a few weeks ago you were able to travel down to Texas to participate in the College Gridiron Showcase. What was that experience like to show off your abilities in front of, all 32 NFL teams there that were in attendance?
It was good. It was a good experience, and it was great to be around players with the same goal that I had, and that's to play at the next level. And it was eye-opening. It was a blessing, and it was a lot of fun to be able to switch up the type of environment, going down to Texas. And I've nothing but positive things to say about it. And I was blessed with the opportunity to do that. And actually, I'm going up to New Jersey to train. I'm heading up this weekend, so also I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be something that's pretty fun.
Okay, all right. And what were a few things that you kind of had in your mind that you wanted to show the scouts, or a few things, like you said, at this next event that you want to show the scouts that are in attendance? I mean, is there any questions about your game that you want to answer on the field?
Yeah, just because of my size, just being over 6 foot, a lot of guys, kind of overlook you. I understand. I'm a realist. The guys who are 6'5", 6'6", they're going to get the first looks. But just being able to prove, my arm strength and my mental aspect of the game is that of anyone else's, and it's better than anyone else's. So, being 6 foot, I don't think it's something that's going to hinder me. The biggest thing for me is just finding that one team who likes me and getting an opportunity to show them what I have and taking advantage of that opportunity. Absolutely.
And I got to ask you, I know last year Coastal Carolina had a pro day. Are they going to be holding another pro day this year? Is that the pro day that you'll be participating in?
Yes, sir. That's the one I'm going to participate in, and that's April 1st. It's pretty late this year.
All right, and is there any specific numbers you have in mind that you want to hit, or you're just going to go out there and do what you can do and not really pay too much attention or focus too much into what the numbers are, just let them be what they are?
Well, as far as a quarterback goes, numbers aren't the most important thing. It's obviously your arm and the mental part of the game. But I do want to show scouts that I am athletic enough to be able to play at the next level. And for me, it's being able to make those big-time throws, deep outs and deep comebacks with a lot of zip on the ball. So that's what I'm trying to do during my pro day.
All right, sounds great. Hey, Alex, I really do appreciate you taking some time this afternoon. We're going to wrap this interview up with something that I like to call the 2-minute drill. Some of these questions will be football related, and some will just be random questions, just about anything. You ready to knock some of these out?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll start off with favorite TV show and movie.
I like Modern Family for favorite TV show, and favorite movie is Fast and Furious.
Okay. All right, nice. I think I just seen Vin Diesel say something that the next Fast and Furious will, or at least they plan on it being their last. So we'll see about that. Nice choices. Who would you say you model your game after?
I wouldn't say that I model it after anyone. I'm my own type of player. So I try and play like my own type of player. But, guys who I look up to are guys like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, and also Drew Brees, being about the same height that I am.
All right, hey, and certainly guys that have had a lot of success at the next level. Cannot go wrong with that. Let's say you have an opportunity to throw a touchdown to any wide receiver that is either currently playing in the NFL or has played in the NFL. Who are you throwing that touchdown to?
I throw it to Matt Hazel, my old receiver from Coastal Carolina. I think that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. And, hey, who knows? Maybe you end up in Miami this spring too. So that's very possible. Maybe it will happen. Finish the sentence.
Never know.
If it wasn't for football,
I would be an engineer.
Okay. All right, and just a couple more questions. Now that we know the two teams that will be playing in Super Bowl 50, and of course you are in that Carolina area, I do got to get a prediction: Broncos or Panthers?
Oh, that's a big one for me because I like Peyton Manning and I like what he's done. It'd be nice to see him go out on a high note, but we also have former alum playing for the Carolina Panthers and Josh Norman and Mike Tolbert, so I'm going to have to take the Panthers.
Okay, all right, and that's now 9-1. Since we've known the matchup to Super Bowl 50, we've had 10 interviews now, and you make it 9-1 Panthers. Only one player has picked the Broncos. I'm still in disbelief of that, although I'm also going with the Panthers. In the end, I'm just hoping for a great game. Hopefully it's not like that Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl a couple years ago. And final question for you, Alex. Again, your time has been greatly appreciated. Let's say we got all 32 NFL general managers listening to this very interview. Why should they want the quarterback out of Coastal Carolina, Alex Ross, a part of their team?
I think I'm going to make the team better as a whole. I'm a leader on the field and I'm a leader off the field. I'm someone who they're not going to have to worry about making the wrong decisions off the field. And, I just bring a fire and an energy to this team that's only going to make it better. Every team I've ever played on, we've had a winning tradition. So I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Right on. Well, hey, Alex, congratulations on all the success over the years at Coastal Carolina. Congrats on, of course, writing your name all over the record books, and hopefully you can do the same at the next level in the National Football League. And I'm certainly wishing you all the best as you continue to get set for the 2016 NFL Draft.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.